this?
I wear my skirts low.
Sounds serious.
This mailbag question was sent in by Damien. I'm an FHA buyer looking to buy a condo. My agent says don't bother looking in certain buildings because they don't qualify for FHA. Is this really a challenge, or is my agent just lazy?
It's a challenge.
No, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge. Yeah. We're seeing a lot of condo projects currently not being able to meet the requirements that FHA
What's
sets.
a lot? Half? A quarter?
Well, one, I would say it depends on the area you're looking. But let's just say, for example, us in Southern California, it's very few. And especially your price range that you're looking at.
So only a few don't qualify for FHA?
No, only if you do qualify.
Only if you do qualify for FHA?
Or what I'm seeing a lot as well is if they are qualified, it's coming to expire soon.
Why do they qualify or not qualify for FHA?
Well, there are a couple of major categories, that the lenders put on their checklist, right? Like how strong is the HOA? The reserves are people. What percentage of people are actually paying their monthly, their monthly dues?
So if a certain percentage of people are not paying their monthly dues, then FHA won't approve.
Correct.
Right.
Because they think it's going to fold, or
it's
going to go bankrupt.
The HOA is in trouble, and you as a buyer don't want to get into a project if the ship's sinking. Because the first thing they're going to do to try to shore up some money is increase your HOA fee.
Hike your HOAs.
Yeah. So that's going to affect your.
What other stuff? Because this is interesting now. Because if only a few
investors,
because a lot of
that's
people buy
another big
condos.
Owner occupancy as opposed to renters.
Yep.
Right.
You need to want more owners.
Correct.
And
a certain
less
amount.
renters. Okay.
So those are usually honestly the two
HOA.
biggest that we're seeing in this market, because a lot of projects were in trouble.
Yeah. Well, the delinquencies on HOA is probably less relevant than it now than it was in the past.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was a time when a lot of these homes were foreclosing and short selling, and people stopped paying their HOA, and that was
and if everyone isn't putting in the pot on their HOA, you could have walked into a condo complex, let's say 5 years ago, and walk in 3 years later when things were really bad and see just
run down,
beat up, grass isn't cut, lawns overgrown, just lights, common area things that just aren't being upkept,
Yeah.
Wow. So what do people do if they want to buy a condo? I mean, if you want to buy a condo.
I mean, the bank is always assuming that they're going to end up owning it and having to resell it. And so that's what all this is just layering the risk of if we lend on this property. They're hedging the risk. So if we lend on this property and we end up with it, what's the probability we'll get our money back? And so if the HOA is not healthy, they're not going to maintain the property. Values could go down. The condition of the property could go down, and the bank has a higher risk of losing money.
So what I would recommend to you, what's his name? Her name?
Damien.
Oh, that's right. How did I forget? What I would recommend, pull up the cities there. There's actually a website where you can pull up FHA approved condos and type in the city and just say approved, and boom, they'll all come up. Also take a look at maybe your possible.
Both will come up.
Well, I know, right?
It will come up.
I would say if you haven't already, check into your conventional options.
Yeah.
So that's it's kind of weird because if you're an FHA,
they're going to have requirements.
If you have 47% debt to income ratio and you can only be an FHA buyer, you can only buy like 5% of the condos that are available. If you haven't
looked at it already, maybe you've already visited. But if you haven't, go ahead and check into it. You may or may not qualify, but it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah, conventional is going to be more flexible than FHA.
You'll still have to meet requirements. But
there's still requirements.
The requirements.
Yeah.
All right.